Hi, how are you? I'm fine. This is the second lesson, speech, about where we can put and make some ornaments. I think it's important to know, to understand that some ornaments are related to one note, so there is like a dot, point in which you make this ornament, pam, and that it's alone, not related to what it before and what it after. And some ornaments are more like a line, something that put in relationships two dots, so going from A to B. This is another kind of ornaments. There are easier the ornaments that are made just upon one note, like a dot. And one of the easier ornament is the mordente. The mordente is something that happens in one note that could be the first of a piece. The first note of this piece has an ornament, a mordente. And you cannot make an appoggiatura, you can make a gruppetto, or you can make probably a trill on the first note of a music, because there is ornaments that normally put in relationship something. But if it's the first note is without relationship for not with what happened before. Here we have a sample, very interesting, of a wonderful mordente. This is the concerto italiano, the andante, the bass, etc. And the right hand, so this is a concerto. It could be a concerto for violin and orchestra, or flute, or oboe and orchestra. The right hand is the melody, and the left hand is the accompaniment, like cello, contrabass, double bass, and viole or something. And the melody, this wonderful melody that starts with a long note, start with a mordente. This is a perfect, the best position for a mordente. Someone think that the mordente can be also double. This is a typical position for a mordente. In the same concert, when the first part end and start the second part, the first part and the melody ended, the accompaniment, this is an F. And this time is more interesting because the melody starts not at the beginning of the bar, but after one rest. More long than the A before, long F. And in this first long note, Bach writes mordente. Etc. Parava or double. So the mordente normally are made in notes that have some importance and some length. And the third sample is a chorale for organ, in which many long note, not all the long note, but many long note has a mordente. And this is interesting. We have 3 G and 3 times Bach writes a mordente. So you can understand, mordente is a note that is at the beginning of something, that is a little alone, so like a title. And it could be make and make again and make again. I didn't find this score for you, but this is Bach. And now we have someone that uses a lot of ornaments. François Couperin, Le Rossignol en Amour. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what is interesting, that is not the first note, but it is the first important note. And the second, or it's not so clear, but it's in the second bar, the first note, right hand, is written, is an F sharp, but if you follow the stem of this F sharp, you see that it is mordente, but this mordente is with this appoggiatura. So the mordente will be F, A, F, F sharp, F, but with appoggiatura will be E, F, E, F, not F, E, F, but E, F, E, F. So there is a lot of mordente. Why they put an appoggiatura in the second mordente? I think because there is a rossignol to make something more like a bird. But you can also avoid this appoggiatura. It will be a normal mordente. This piece was perfect for making mordente upon each long note. You can put mordente upon each note in the start position. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. in this position you can put a mordente. You can play also a double mordente, so it is more a rossignol. There is a lot thing to do about this piece, but this is an argument for another lesson. And now the gruppetto. The gruppetto is totally opposite. It's normally there is not a gruppetto in a note alone, because the gruppetto is going from A to B, from B to C. And this is prelude number 10 of the first volume of Wohltemper Clavier. And the gruppetto is not written as a signe, but in notes. This F sharp E, D sharp E is a gruppetto. You have more in your head, on your memory, the bass. Something like a moto perpetuo, bo 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 bo, and in this very obsessive and with repetition bass, there is this melody, there is free and with long note related with the trill. There is a trill in the 4 quarter, but also a gruppetto. And what it is interesting is that the gruppetto is a way for going to E to F sharp. But the gruppetto doesn't go directly from E to the F sharp of the second bar, but from E to the F sharp of the trill that is going on the second bar. So this is an ornament of an ornament. But if you avoid the trill and you put the gruppetto at the end of the bar, you have the perfect position of an ornament. But Bach needed something more complicated, more ornamented. So make a gruppetto going to a trill. A perfect sample of the use of an ornament. And this one is this is interesting. A gruppetto going, for example, from C sharp to D, and after of B natural to C, and after from A to B flat. So the gruppetto is written where there is an half tone. This is important because normally it's a position for a gruppetto, as a position good for trill. Or gruppetto. But in the theory, the gruppetto is with the C sharp, there is the note higher, D, C sharp, B natural, and C sharp. 4 notes. So it will be, if I don't read the left hand, if I just looking on the right hand, but I cannot do this. Because if I play in the first bar where there is a gruppetto D, C sharp, B, I'm making fourths parallels, fourths, with the bass. And this is I cannot. This is verboten, prohibited, I don't know. So, this is interesting. The gruppetto that Bach needs and asks us is a gruppetto a little more complicated, but that used a lot from Mozart, from Bach, from Telemann. Before you make the written note, C sharp, in this case a quaver, and after you make 4 note, semi-quaver, D, C, B, C. I will play so you will understand. Making this, you don't will have this problem of fourth parallel. This is an interesting sample. And now we are speaking about the appoggiatura. This is a prelude in clé sol français, so it's a little. I have to take the alto. The first note is a C, and the second is an E flat. We are in C minor. What it is interesting is that Hottererre use 2 ways for writing an appoggiatura. The normal way, porte de voix is the name, is at the end of the first line. Upon this A, not F, A, we are in clé de sol français, there is this like a V, victory. And this is implied that you have to make an appoggiatura with the lower note. So G, A. The last 2 notes, the last part, I start from G, 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 G. Ta-da, ba-ba-la-ba-la-da. This is a normal appoggiatura. When there is the note above or upper, they use a V, a normal way on drawing in the opposite, but normally is Hottererre like the appoggiatura that derive from unten, from below. But the first appoggiatura, that is E flat against B natural, is written with a note, because you want a special note. It's very rare the appoggiatura that are not near the note. If I make an appoggiatura upon C, normally it is or D or B. But in this case, the note that the Hottererre would ornament is B natural. Normally it will be a C or an A, and in this case you need a E flat, and so you need to write the note. I play without ornament. C, E, B, very dramatic, lovely. But in this point in which there is something dramatic, it makes something more dramatic. There is an appoggiatura of quarta diminuita, diminished fourth. It's very strange, very unusual in distance. Natural. But this Hottererre, in the first line, it uses the sharp for making the B natural. And in the second line, it uses the B quadro for making the B natural. That's very... So there is a period in which both way of writing was used. In the second line, upon this B natural, there is this V, there is appoggiatura, so I have to repeat the A. Second line. And now I'm going to the other scenes, because the recorder cannot play the note until the lower B. I go in the second scene, Do, and this is the appoggiatura there is in the higher C, is one of the more typical appoggiatura. That is, the repetition of the note that you still done, B natural, and with a long B natural instead of C. You cannot find a better way, a better point, a better way of making a position for making an appoggiatura. L'appoggiatura runs very good when you, in your head, one note will arrive. After this scale, the C will arrive. All we are looking for this C. And instead of C, Hottererre put a wonderful appoggiatura, the repetition of the B natural. You cannot find a better place for making an appoggiatura. And now, another appoggiatura in the middle of this piece upon a E flat. You make a D, E flat, and after upon a D you make a C, D. Did you listen? It is the pleasure for making one note instead of the other. This is typical for the appoggiatura, and for this reason the appoggiatura is one of the most difficult ornaments. It's not technically difficult, but it's difficult because need from the performer a taste, a pleasure for making something. In this moment we were looking for listen a B, E flat, but we will listen a D instead of B flat. I will play without ornament. This I have in the middle of the line. E, D, and with the appoggiatura. You learn a lot with the prelude from Hottererre. They are perfect for learning the ornaments. In this prelude in F minor, so 4 accidental, 4 flat, remember that we are playing in clé de sol français, so it's like a clé, basse clé. The first note is not a D, is an F. In this prelude is interesting because there are some appoggiatura and some tremblements, the name from Hottererre. This is ornaments, this is Trillo, and we will see that appoggiatura and trillo are very similar. The trillo is an appoggiatura with something more, but when we listen, the beginning of the trill is exactly the same of the beginning of an appoggiatura. 1, 2. This was the point which I was speaking. C, C, E, E, D, 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 F, F, E. But the second is a trill with the sign. You see the opposite V up on the cross. But it's not necessary because each trill has this appoggiatura. Lovely piece. Entre parenthèses, I'm not playing the part in the middle as is written. Is written but I am playing this is an hypothesis of interpretation based for what happened at the beginning. At the beginning, the FF A, the A is a semiquaver. And also the B. And the first F, I play it also as a semiquaver, because in this period that was very unusual to dotted the rest. So they make normally a rest of a quaver, but is a rest of a dotted quaver and a semiquaver. Okay, I think it's finished for today. We will continue. It's an argument it's a matter, the ornaments is very interesting for learning the ancient music, the early music. Bye bye.